The research station Uranus floated silently above a green and gold planet, its orbit slow and steady. From this height, the world below looked peaceful, endless forests, sparkling rivers, and soft clouds drifting across the horizon. But Dr. Selvar knew the truth. This was no paradise. It was home to predators so dangerous, the Galactic Council had declared it off-limits to civilians. Selvar, a tall, silver-scaled alien with 4 delicate hands, sat in the observation chamber, reviewing drone data. His job was simple: to study the planet's ecosystem and report on predator population changes. Nothing exciting ever happened here. That was why the alert startled him. The station's AI voice broke the quiet. Dr. Selvar, Surface Drone 7 has detected unusual movement in Sector 9. Selvar's top left hand tapped the console, bringing the feed to life. The drone's camera showed dense jungle. At first, he saw nothing but swaying leaves. Then something blurred across the frame. It moved too quickly for the auto-tracker to keep up. Selvar frowned. Replay, slow speed. The footage rolled again, slower this time. A shadow darted. Between trees, 2 legs, upright posture. But it wasn't the gait of any local animal. It was smooth, deliberate, and silent. Magnify, Selvar ordered. The image zoomed in, pixelated but clear enough to make his gill frills tighten. The figure's arms swung like a biped's. Its proportions, long legs, narrow torso, balanced head, looked wrong. Wrong for any native life here. Wrong but disturbingly familiar. AI, Selvar asked. Species identification. The station AI paused before replying. No known match in planetary database. Closest similarity, human physiology. Fate! Selvar blinked. Humans. Out here? Impossible. This planet was in restricted territory, far from any Terran trade route, and humans. They rarely came this far into the galaxy unless they had a reason. The footage continued. The figure slipped through the forest like liquid shadow, stalking something. Selvar adjusted the drone's sensors, picking up a massive heat signature ahead. A Ratharon, one of the deadliest apex predators on the planet. The creature stood. 3 meters tall, covered in spiked fur, with jaws that could crush stone. The figure didn't hesitate. In the next seconds, Selvar saw a blur of motion. The Ratharon lunged, but the figure sidestepped with impossible speed. Something flashed, not a plasma blade, not claws, just a short, curved weapon glinting in the sunlight. A single strike. The Ratharon fell, its body shuddering once before going still. Selvar's lower hands tightened on the console. This wasn't hunting for food. This was precise, efficient, almost like training. AI, he whispered, confirm kill method. The AI scanned the body. Primary cause of death, cervical spine severed by bladed weapon. Single strike. Selvar's frills twitched uneasily. He leaned back, considering. If a human really was on this planet, it would be a violation of multiple galactic treaties. But more than that, why would one be here alone? How could they kill a Ratharon so easily? He opened a secure channel to the Galactic Science Council. Moments later, the holodisplay shimmered to life. The face of Elder Merrick appeared. A council member with pale skin and deep-set eyes, framed by ceremonial robes. Selvar spoke quickly. Elder, I have urgent data from Planet 9 Kappa. My drones have captured footage of an unidentified biped. Movement and proportions match human physiology. This individual hunted and killed a Ratharon in under 4 seconds. Merrick's expression didn't change. Transmit the footage. Selvar sent it. He waited, hearing only the faint hum of the station's systems. Finally, Merrick's voice returned, low, deliberate. Dr. Selvar, you are to destroy all footage immediately. Selvar blinked. Destroy? Elder, this could be important evidence. Humans, Merrick's tone hardened. Do not investigate further. Do not track the subject. Avoid human attention at all costs. Selvar's frills lifted in confusion. But why? What danger could one human? The Elder cut him off. Dr. Selvar, this is not a discussion. End your surveillance. Purge your logs. Again, remember. Some truths are not for you to carry. The holofeed cut, leaving Salvar staring at his own reflection in the darkened screen. He sat there for a long moment, feeling the weight of the elder's words. His top hands hovered over the console controls, ready to delete the files, but his lower hands curled into fists. He was a scientist. His duty was to find the truth, not bury it. Salvar reopened the footage. He froze it on the figure's face, blurry, half-shadowed, but still showing the faint curve of a smile just before the kill. That smile wasn't one of hunger or desperation. It was something else entirely. It was the smile of a predator, who knew exactly what it was doing. Outside the station's viewport, the green planet spun silently below. Somewhere down there, a human, if it truly was one, was moving through the jungle, hunting creatures that no alien dared face. Salvar whispered to himself, "Avoid human attention? No. I need to know why you're here." Ziffin. Answer. The console beeped. Drone 7 had detected movement again in Sector 9, moving toward another predator's territory. The same figure, the same silent approach. Salvar's frills trembled. Every instinct told him to follow the Council's command. Instead, he tapped the controls, sending the drone closer. Far below, the figure stopped mid-step, slowly raising its head. For the briefest moment, its face turned directly toward the drone's lens. The smile returned, slow, deliberate. Then the feed went black. Salvar's heart pounded. Reported drone signal lost. No damage detected. Connection terminated at source. A chill went through him. Whatever that figure was, it knew it was being watched, and it had chosen to end the observation. Salvar sat in the silence, the Council's warning echoing in his mind. Avoid human attention, but it was too late. The human, if it was human, already knew he was watching. The research station Uranus felt quieter than usual. Too quiet. Dr. Salvar sat at his console, replaying the final seconds of the drone's feed in his mind, the figure turning toward the lens. The deliberate smile, and then nothing. No static, no malfunction warning, just black. Machines didn't just go dark like that. Salvar leaned forward, his lower hands gripping the edge of the desk. His instincts screamed at him to report this, to send an emergency update to the Council. But the memory of Elder Merrick's voice stopped him cold. Avoid human attention. Some truths are not for you to carry. It made no sense. Why would the Council fear one human? Salvar had met Terrans before. They were unpredictable. Yes, competitive. Fierce in strange ways. But this was different. The console chimed softly, and incoming data burst from Drone 8. Salvar opened it immediately. A still image appeared on the screen. The jungle canopy, a shadow on the forest floor. But it wasn't the figure. It was a corpse. Another apex predator, a spine-back lurker, large enough to crush a cargo pod, dead. The kill wound was identical to the Rathern's, clean, surgical. Through the spine, Salvar's frills flattened. 2 apex predators, in the same day, in the same area? That was more than hunting. This was systematic. He magnified the image. That's when he saw it. A mark carved into the creature's hide. Small, deliberate. A symbol. It was Terran. He didn't know the meaning, but he'd seen it before once, on a cargo crate from a human mercenary vessel. Adar saved the image to a private, encrypted file. If the Council didn't want this truth uncovered, then he needed to work in the shadows. The AI interrupted his thoughts. Dr. Salvar, incoming transmission from the Galactic Science Council. His frills twitched nervously. Put it through. Elder Merrick's face appeared again, his eyes colder than before. We have reason to believe you have not followed our instructions. Salvar chose his words carefully. Elder, I do not lie to me, Merrick said, his tone sharp. Purge all recent data. Shut down surface surveillance. Effective immediately. Salvar swallowed. With respect, Elder, this is a human. Shouldn't we? Merrick leaned forward in the holofeed, his voice dropping to a near whisper. Do you know why we have predator laws, Doctor? Why humans are not permitted to hunt in our conservation zones? Because if they do, nothing survives. Not even us. The transmission ended without another word. Salvar sat frozen. Not even us? That wasn't a warning about the jungle. That was a warning about humanity itself. He made his decision. Stelvar moved to the auxiliary control panel, one the Council rarely monitored. He keyed in override codes, bringing Drone 9 online, the stealth unit. If the human was still out there, this drone could follow without being seen or heard. The drone launched, a small glimmer of metal sliding silently into the planet's atmosphere. Selvar watched its feed carefully. The jungle below was alive, with motion, flying reptiles, tree beasts, insects the size of his hand. But then, in the middle of a clearing, he saw movement. The human. It wasn't hunting this time. It was kneeling beside the dead spineback lurker, carving something. Into its hide. Not for F. The hangar bay of the Uranus station smelled faintly of ozone and engine oil. Dr. Salvar stood in front of his small survey craft, a silver vessel built for observation, not combat. His frills twitched nervously. He had no clearance for what he was about to do, and no guarantee he would come back. The encrypted message replayed in his mind. Stop watching, or come down here and see for yourself. Every instinct told him to ignore it. Every piece of training screamed, obey the Council. Curiosity was stronger. Salvar entered the craft, sealing the hatch behind him. The AI voice greeted him softly. Destination, Doctor. Surface coordinates. Same as the signal. Salvar said, his voice low. The engines hummed to life. With a gentle push, the craft drifted from the hangar and began its descent toward the planet's thick atmosphere. The sky below shifted from black to green haze, the swirling clouds heavy with alien moisture. Lightning flashed in the distance. The jungle canopy soon came into view, endless and dark, broken only by deep rivers and open clearings. Salvar's hands tightened on the controls. The stealth drone's last feed still burned in his mind. The human's smile, the mark carved into predator flesh. The craft touched down in a small clearing, its landing struts sinking into damp soil. The air outside was heavy, humid, and full of strange calls from unseen creatures. Salvar stepped out, his boots sinking slightly. He carried only a scanning device, a stun pistol, and a recorder. The jungle seemed to watch him. Every step was careful. Vines hung like traps from the trees. Insects buzzed past his eyes, massive. Leaves blocked his view beyond a few meters. The scanner beeped. Life signs, large ones, were moving ahead. But they weren't predators this time. The readings matched humanoid. Salvar crept forward, parting the foliage slowly, froze. In the middle of a clearing, surrounded by the remains of 3 different predator species, stood the human. Not in armor, not carrying heavy weapons, just wearing a tattered jacket, carrying a long blade and a short battered rifle slung over one shoulder. The human's back was to him. It was carving something into the dirt with the tip of the blade. Salvar strained to see the shape. It was the same predator eye symbol. Why are you doing this? Salvar called out before he could stop himself. The human didn't turn around. You came, they said in a calm voice. That means you're ready to hear the truth. Salvar's frills flattened. The Council said to stay away. That. Nothing survives when humans hunt here. Human chuckled, not kindly. They're right, but they didn't tell you why. Salvar took a careful step forward. Then tell me. The human finally turned. Their eyes were sharp, almost glowing in the dim light. Because this isn't just a hunt, it's proof. Every predator here thinks it's the top of the chain. They all think they're the perfect killer. The human pointed at the carcasses around them. I'm here to remind them they're wrong. Salvar felt a chill run through him. You're proving humans are the most dangerous species? The human's expression darkened. No, I'm proving something worse. Before Salvar could ask, the jungle behind the human exploded with movement. A massive predator, bigger than the Rathorn charged. Forward, its jaws wide. The human didn't flinch. In one smooth motion, they stepped aside, drove the blade into the creature's neck, and twisted. The predator fell with a heavy thud, its life gone instantly. The human wiped the blade on the grass, Now you see. They can't beat me. They can't even learn from me. Salvar's hearts pounded. This wasn't just skill, it was something else. Something almost unnatural. The human looked back at him. You can watch from your station and wonder. Or you can follow me and understand. But if you choose to follow... They stepped closer, voice dropping to a whisper. There's no going back. The lesson of the hunt, Salvar hesitated. Every rule, every warning in the council's archives told him to walk away. But the way the human had killed that massive predator clean, silent, without fear, made something inside him ache with questions. He followed. The human moved through the jungle like water flowing around rocks. No wasted steps, no noise. Even the insects seemed to part for them. Salvar struggled to keep up, his boots catching on vines, his breathing loud in his own ears. You're loud, the human said without turning. If you were prey, you'd be dead already. Salvar bristled. I am not prey. The human stopped, looked over their shoulder with a faint smile. Everyone says that, until they meet something faster. They continued walking. The jungle grew darker. The canopy so thick, the daylight barely reached the ground. Felt heavier, charged with unseen danger. Salvar's scanner beeped. Multiple life forms, large, moving toward them from all sides. They're circling, Salvar said, his voice tight. The human didn't look worried. Good, they've learned to work together. Salvar frowned. Work together? Predators on this planet are solitary hunters. If they don't, the growl. Cut 'em off. 3 shapes emerged from the shadows, sleek, 6-legged beasts with teeth like crystal shards. Their movements were fast, precise, coordinated. Salvar's frills twitched in alarm. This is impossible. They're learning, the human said calmly. Every time I kill one, the survivors remember. They get faster, smarter, more dangerous. Salvar's stomach turned. Then why keep hunting them? The human's eyes narrowed. Because the lesson isn't for them. It's for anyone watching. The predators lunged. In a blur, the human dropped one with a blade through the throat. Pivoted, shot another mid-leap, and sidestepped the last. The third hesitated, actually hesitated, before the human's blade found its heart. Salvar stood frozen. He had seen elite soldiers fight before. This was different. There was no wasted movement, no fear, no doubt. The human's every action was pure, perfect efficiency. When the silence returned, Salvar spoke softly. You said the lesson was for anyone watching. Who is watching? The human knelt beside the dead beasts, carving the predator eye symbol into the dirt again. Everyone. The predators, the prey, and the council. Salvar felt cold. Council told me to erase the footage because they know what happens when others see what humans can do. The human finished for him. Predators fear us. Prey fears us more. That's what proof of predation means. Not about survival. It's about dominance. Salvar swallowed hard. So you're proving humans are the top of the food chain. The humans stood, their gaze unreadable. No, doctor. I'm proving that we never left it. They began walking again, deeper, into the shadows. Come on, I'll show you the final proof. Salvar followed, each step heavier with the weight of what he was learning. The jungle thinned, opening into a wide clearing. Salvar froze when he saw what lay in the center. It wasn't a predator. It wasn't even alive. It was a pile. A massive, neatly stacked mound of bones. Dozens, maybe hundreds. They weren't. All from the same species. Salvar saw skulls of the great horned grazers, tusked hunters. Even a few bones that looked uncomfortably similar to his own species. The air felt heavy, almost silent. No insects chirped here. No birds sang. The human stepped forward, calm as ever. Every kill I make, I bring the remains here. Salvar's frills twitched with unease. Why? To study them? No, the human said. To remind everything on this planet what happens when they come for me. Salvar took a step back. That's not survival. That's intimidation. The human finally turned, and there was no friendliness in their eyes. Now, exactly. Survival is only part of the game. The real game is making sure they don't even try. The alien scientist glanced again at the bone pile and saw something he had missed at first. The mound wasn't random. The skulls were. Arranged in patterns, predator eyes, claws, and fangs pointing outward like a warning. "You've been sending a message?" Salvar whispered. The human's voice was low, steady. "The predators learn to avoid me. The prey learn to hide. And if the council is watching, they remember what a single human can do when left alone in a hostile world." Salvar's mind raced. The council's secrecy. The orders to erase footage. The quiet, fearful tone in their voices when humans were mentioned. "They fear you," Salvar said. The human's expression didn't change. "They should." For a moment neither spoke. The jungle seemed to hold its breath. Then, from somewhere deep in the shadows, came a sound Salvar had never heard before. A single, long howl. Not a predator's roar, not a call for help. It was a warning. The human's lips curved into a thin smile. "Good. They've seen the proof." They started walking again, leaving the clearing without looking back. Salvar lingered for a heartbeat longer, staring at the mountain of silent skulls, feeling the truth settle like ice in his chest. Humans didn't just survive danger, they taught danger to be afraid. And now, Salvar realized, he was part of that lesson too. If you want, I can make part 6, the Council's Fear, where Salvar reports back and finally learns the real reason the galaxy doesn't want humans hunting anywhere. That's where we can end with a big, dramatic FAI punch. The Council's Fear. The journey back to the research station felt longer than the trip down. Salvar didn't speak much. The human didn't either. And when they reached orbit, Salvar immediately called the Galactic Science Council. The screen filled with the stern faces of the senior members. "I have findings," Salvar said firmly, "and I'm not deleting them." The room on the other end went tense. One counselor leaned forward. "You went down there?" "Yes," Salvar replied, "and I saw what's hunting the predators. A human alone, surviving for months." A sharp intake of breath rippled across the council chamber. Salvar continued, his voice shaking only slightly. "This wasn't survival. This was control. The predators fear them. The prey fear them. Even the ecosystem has adapted to their presence. The human has reshaped an entire biosphere without technology, without weapons beyond the most basic tools." "Exactly," said the oldest counselor quietly. Salvar frowned. "You knew." The old counselor's eyes were cold. "We've known for centuries. Wherever humans go, the rules of nature change. They are predators, yes. But more than that, they teach other predators to be afraid." Another counselor spoke, voice almost a whisper. "This is why we never bring humans into predator-rich zones. If they settle there, within a generation, nothing dangerous dares to move. Tire food, chains collapse. And if humans decide to hunt you, they won't stop," the oldest counselor finished. "Ever." Salvar remembered the bone pile, the carefully arranged warning, the way the jungle had gone silent. They thought of the human's calm, unshaken expression. "So," Salvar said slowly, "that's the truth the galaxy doesn't want to face." The counselor nodded. "Yes, the truth is this. Humans are the proof of predation. They are nature's answer to every threat. They're the reason some apex predators stop existing." Salvar sat back, the weight of the revelation sinking. The human in the next room wasn't just a survivor. They were a living weapon. A soft chime announced an incoming message. It was from the human. "Just for words. Leaving now." Salvar didn't reply. He didn't have to, because he did understand.